Existence trembled long before either combatant arrived, between the folds of reality beyond where angels dreamed, and where mortals tried to reason their place there stretched a void without definition. Not hell, not heaven, not any realm charted by cosmic hands. It was a place that simply was, and yet even here, something unusual stirred. Lucifer Morningstar stepped into the emptiness with the certainty of one who knew the foundations of creation and rejected them anyway. The air did not exist, yet it bent around him. Light refused to shine, yet illumination followed in his wake as if the concept of brilliance clung to him. He walked with the grace of a being who had once helped shape universes, as casually as artists shape clay. His rebellion had given him scars only philosophy could see, scars of defiance, autonomy, and the refusal to bow even before the notion of absolute. Waiting ahead of him was something Lucifer had never faced, not an angel, not a god, not even a fragment of the presence's grand tapestry. The Beyonder simply was, not by design or decree, but by his own unrestrained nature. He did not walk toward Lucifer. He didn't need to. He existed everywhere in this place, and yet he condensed into a form merely so Lucifer had something to look at. The shape was irrelevant, the power behind it was not. Lucifer studied him with the cool curiosity of a being used to understanding the rules before breaking them. But here, the rules themselves bowed to Beyonder's whims. Lucifer sensed immediately what bothered him. There was no hierarchy in the Beyonder's existence, no chain of command, no creator above him, no metaphysical architecture binding him to cause and effect. He was unanchored, unstructured, and terrifyingly free. Lucifer broke the silence first. You don't belong anywhere, not to any cosmology, not to any divine intention. You're not even chaos. You're something else entirely. The Beyonder answered through sensation, not voice. I am what remains when constraints are stripped away. I am expression without boundary, Lucifer smirked, though the weight of the being before him demanded respect. Freedom without structure is indistinguishable from madness, you know. Creation requires form. Thought requires limitation. Will requires something to oppose. Without boundaries, you're a child flailing in infinite space. The Beyonder's energy rippled. Limitations are cages. I have no interest in definition. I am power realized. Lucifer paced lightly, hands behind his back, every movement deliberate. Power without reason is weakness disguised as strength. Even omnipotence must answer to purpose. You bind yourself to purpose, Beyonder replied. But you do so because you cannot escape the architecture of your own origin. Lucifer's eyes glowed faintly. And you believe origin defines destiny? I believe nothing defines me. Lucifer paused, then allowed the faintest, sharpest laugh. You're dangerous, then. Not because of your power, but because you think you've transcended logic itself. Even I, who forged worlds, who dance beside the presence in the dawn of everything, I understand the necessity of structure. Beyonder's presence dimmed and intensified in pulses. I require none of your metaphysics. I am the answer to the question of what if power had no ceiling. Lucifer stopped pacing. And what if reason had no floor? You think your nature elevates you, but it simply proves you exist outside the hierarchy of meaning. I at least understand what I rebel against. Rebellion is irrelevant, Beyonder said. And this time there was a tone distant, curious, amused. Opposition implies equivalence. You oppose your creator. I have none. We are not mirrors. Lucifer's smile faded, leaving something sharper and colder. No mirrors, no equals, no barriers. And that's precisely why you're unstable. You're a paradox walking in a universe that demands balance. Even beings of infinite might must acknowledge the fabric of existence. I acknowledge nothing. Beyonder replied. I reshape fabric at will. The air thickened not with tension, but inevitability. These were not to titans preparing for battle. These were to philosophies arguing for supremacy. Lucifer represented intention, structure, will refined into principle. The Beyonder embodied power without origin, definition, or limitation. Lucifer's voice softened, though it carried enough gravity to shift celestial tides. If you genuinely believe your power is absolute, then you already know what comes next. Beyonder's form shimmered with infinite possibility. I know that demonstration renders debate obsolete. Lucifer stepped forward, calm, resolute. Then we moved from philosophy to proof, and the void braced itself. The clash began long before either of them moved. The moment intent crystallized, the void convulsed. Lucifer raised a hand lightly, and entire starfields erupted into existence behind him. Sculpted concepts, refined ideas. He drew energy from pure imagination, bending the rules of metaphysics the way he once shaped the early frames of creation. With a casual flick, he sent a surge of conceptual force at the Beyonder, not to destroy but to impose structure to bind him, if only for an instant. The Beyonder didn't deflect it. He erased the very idea the attack was built upon. Lucifer's creation unraveled mid-flight as if its own purpose forgot why it existed. Lucifer's eyes narrowed. Reality warping was one thing. Erasing conceptual relevance was another entirely. Lucifer generated a 1,000-layered universe barrier, each layer carrying its own laws, paradoxes, and divine mechanics. The Beyonder walked through all of them at once, ignoring their existence the same way one ignores dust floating in sunlight. Lucifer met him head-on, channeling raw divine fire energy he hadn't unleashed since the first rebellion of heaven. His wings, vast and radiant, unfurled in a cascade of reality-breaking brilliance. The Beyonder allowed the flames to consume him, but they consumed nothing. Fire burned only what reality permitted. He rewrote reality around himself so the flames had no category to affect. Lucifer saw that and pushed harder, altering the underlying laws around the Beyonder, forcing new concepts into place, binding meaning into every particle in reach. The Beyonder snapped them out of existence with a single contradiction. Everything Lucifer shaped collapsed into blank neutrality. Lucifer shifted tactics instantly. Instead of bending reality, he bent logic itself. He created paradox loops, conceptual constructs that forced any observer to confront contradictory states. Each one could collapse infinite structures if the target couldn't resolve the duality. The Beyonder didn't resolve them. He transcended them. Lucifer realized the difference too late. The Beyonder didn't play the game of logic. He simply existed above it. Paradox had no leverage on something that did not depend on metaphysical rules to function. Lucifer launched upward, drawing energy from the cosmic order itself, channeling purpose, identity, free will, all the things that made existence coherent. He condensed them into a spear of meaning and hurled it with a force sufficient to pierce the heart of creation. The Beyonder caught it effortlessly and turned its meaning into nothingness. The spear ceased to be a concept. Lucifer staggered a half-step, not from fear, but from the understanding of what he faced. The Beyonder raised a single hand, and Lucifer felt pressure unlike anything he'd ever known. Not force, not energy, not power, just intention. The kind of intention that could erase a multiverse for being inconvenient. Lucifer strained, wings flaring, every feather igniting with rebellion's fire. For a moment, he forced the pressure back. For a moment, he held the will of the Beyonder at bay. But the Beyonder pushed again. Casually, almost experimentally, Lucifer's knees bent. Not in surrender, never that, but under the sheer imbalance of power. He cursed not the Beyonder but the logic of existence itself. Lucifer understood everything else. He had mastered every realm, every philosophy, every divine structure. But this was a being with no architecture, no structure to exploit, no flaw to test. He could outthink gods, but he couldn't outthink something that had never needed to think to begin with. The Beyonder spoke at last. You argued that power without purpose is flawed, but purpose cannot restrain unlimited power. Lucifer forced himself upright, wings trembling, and you argued nothing defines you, not even reason. That makes you powerful, yes, but also empty. The Beyonder stepped closer, untouched by creation or its metaphysics. Emptiness is freedom, and freedom is the final absolute. Lucifer's fire dimmed, not extinguished. Nothing could extinguish his defiance. But he understood the truth the Beyonder represented. Lucifer existed within a system, a divine hierarchy, a metaphysical logic. Even if he opposed it, he was shaped by it. The Beyonder wasn't shaped by anything. With a final pulse of intention, the Beyonder overwhelmed Lucifer completely. Light shattered, universes flickered, concepts screamed and went silent. Lucifer fell not destroyed, but defeated, because no structure, no philosophy, no rebellion could match something with no limits at all. The void stabilized. The echoes of their clash fading. The Beyonder stood alone. Not by conquest, by inevitability.